James Hall, welcome again to another exciting episode of FGS TV. Appreciate you coming into the office.
Good to be here. What's in store for me today?
In store for you today is a question that's on everyone's lips.
I know what's coming.
You know what's coming.
I know what's coming.
Logistics, deliveries, etc., etc., etc. Has been very difficult, challenging the last couple of years.
Yep.
We've had COVID.
Yep.
We've had boats getting stuck in canals.
Yep.
Yeah. Big boats.
Yep.
We've had shortages of all sorts of things.
We have.
We've still got China, lockdown zero, whatever.
Still a problem.
Yeah. So, obviously you're HPE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've even got an HPE bottle there. So, what has gone on? What are the implications? But also, I will ask in a while, what are the implications for the cloud? Because I will touch on that in a second. So just give us an overview, James, of what's gone on, and then we talk about what's happening, and then where you think it's going to go.
Yeah. So there's kind of two. Well, there's what's happening to our suppliers and everybody else's suppliers, and that's one of the challenges, right? Is we all buy from the same people. We all like to think we've got the biggest clout, but at the end of the day, most of the manufacturers have tried to be relatively fair.
Right. Okay.
Lockdown caused a massive backlog, and they were already running. In fact,
why is that? Because the people who were making the chips.
Basically everyone was locked down. And there were, before we went into any kind of lockdown, most of those fabrication sites, as they call them, were running 24/7, 7 days a week. And a good sign of that is you look at Intel. They've got a multi-billion-dollar installation actually right next to our offices, just outside Dublin. Building new fabs. I think they've just chosen Germany as the next site. New fab sites. So basically, new manufacturing capability.
Right, okay.
So they were already at capacity. They realised that they've started to build new ones. Then we get hit with COVID, and everything slows down. And then we're all fighting for the same supply. And then the challenge then is they can never really catch up because you can't work 30 hours in a 24-hour day and 8 days in a 7-day week. So two problems that causes. The first thing is those manufacturers only want to make the latest and greatest, and they don't want to make old stuff. And you think, okay, why does that matter? Customers are upgrading old kit.
So why is that?
So we've got a load of customers with old kit in the field, old storage, old service, and it's not just us, right? Dell have customers.
So why don't they want to make old stuff? Because
the new stuff is more valuable to them.
Right.
So that's why you've seen organisations. We've done it. I think Cisco have done some of this. Is bringing end of life or end of end of sale life, forward because we're forecasting what parts we've got to provide typically 5 to 7 years support, and if we can't get them manufactured, then that adjusts all of our end of support and end of sale life stuff.
Right. Okay.
So it's a double whammy for us big boys, because we've got to worry about supply coming in so we can ship stuff out for new orders, but we've also got to satisfy what's in the field.
Yeah, we've seen this. We've had a couple of instances where we've ordered something, and then they've suddenly said, no, those drives are not going to be available. Thinking, but these drives are not available. They're a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So it's caused a real headache. Then you have to go back to the client. The client says, we've already put a PO in, but it is what it is, isn't it? There's not a lot we're going to do about it. Yeah. And so where we've seen some stuff coming in a year, Cisco, we've taken stuff that we've ordered 18 months ago.
So some stuff on Cisco is at around 18 months. We see it in Aruba. We're at about 9 months for some of our quiet working switches. And it's not just IT, right? A friend of mine's just waited 9 months for a car. And he's only got one key.
At least you didn't break 9 months for a bus.
Exactly. And he's only got one key because they can't afford to give him two keys, because that means they can't ship another car. It's madness.
Yeah, that's quite challenging. I mean, it's really been challenging in our industry. We've been quite fortunate, the financial situation, but if you're not shipping, say you're shipping on an average of 6 months, that's probably about right, 6 months on average. Well, before it was 3 weeks. So you'll get invoices out every 3 weeks. But now you're waiting 6 months. So you've got that 5 months, which you're still paying your staff, you're still paying for your office, you're still doing all your expenses, but
you can't get the cash in the door.
You can't get the cash in the door because you can't invoice out. And so we've been all right because we're fairly cash rich, but some companies out there really struggled. I know that. But some in our industry, I'll tell you what, have struggled. Haven't got big enough credit lines. So say they've got £1 million credit line, and they put 200 grand order in, another one, 5 that equals 2 million, 5 to 200 grand. Well, that stuff that they've ordered has filled their credit line up with, let's make it up, tech data. They're not going to accept any more orders. but none of that stuff was shipped for another 3 months.
Yeah.
So they're in a situation where they can't even take orders from. I mean, most of the Disneys have been fairly good, but if you're looking at a partner, reseller, whatever you want to call them, VAR, had this conversation before.
We have.
That they're not that comfortable with the financial situation.
No.
They're not going to give them more credit. So it has a real implication
It does.
on a lot. So
Yeah.
we're getting customers come to us saying, we ordered this from X, but we're concerned that's not going to come. And I have to say that, well, actually, we're going to go to the back of the queue.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the back of the queue. You can order it from us as well. You're going to get theirs first. So it's sort of irrelevant.
Yeah.
But they just have to sort of, it's very hard. So you think,
Yeah.
because we're seeing in the last 2 or 3 weeks it's got a lot better.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that's just not a blip because it's HPE's end of year.
No, so
Yeah.
so the biggest factor that's helping
Yeah.
supply
Yeah.
constraint at the moment is the corporate and home user PC market slowdown.
Right.
And that has eased the pressure on manufacturers where we get semiconductors
Oh, right,
and chips.
okay. Yeah,
so the slowdown in the PC market, both consumer and corporate, is easing the pressure, and it is set to stay like that. We're not expecting another big steep rise in consumer. There might be a blip at Christmas because people buy presents, but by and large, so that has eased. Now,
Right,
I've seen some of our competition running around saying the problem's gone and everything's back to normal.
Well,
That's absolutely not the case. That's absolutely not. But it has eased certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our CEO was, in fact, he did the analyst thing, always talked to all our analysts and all the banks, I think it was this Tuesday night this week. You know, and you know, he's very open and saying, you know, it isn't probably going to ease for another 8 or 9 months.
But it's getting slightly better.
It's getting slightly better.
6 months to 5.
Yeah, it's getting slightly better, and we are, as a business, we have done a lot, and we are still doing a lot to try and make it less
What
painful.
does a lot mean? What does that look like?
Explain
what a lot means.
And I think this is the question I get asked all the time, because the most
yeah.
frustrating thing that we get from partners and customers is we give you an estimated delivery date, and 2 weeks before it moves out a month. Right? That is the way our manufacturing system works, because it sees allocation of kit coming in, and if that doesn't happen, then and we don't have control over that, we've got a best estimate. That's what pushes that out. So we're working on our quoting tools to show partners things that are in good supply versus bad supply. So you can at least say to a customer, look, if you put that component
in traffic lights. So
basically traffic lights.
When we build systems for we look at that traffic light all the time.
So that's one thing that we've done, and they're putting a lot of effort into the traffic light system to cover a broad, because at the moment it's not on everything. But we're trying to get it across as much as the portfolio as possible. We have gone from 18 instances of SAP globally around the world to 1. That means that we went from weekly forecasting and inventory to daily, and that doesn't sound a lot, but that's huge when you're talking about $1 billion worth of inventory, right? So that's been a big project for us, and they are still trying to improve that, to make it more efficient and bring it down from a day. But that it doesn't sound a lot, but it's huge.
Right.
We created the mainstream product lines, so things that we see customers put in servers all the time or in storage arrays all the time, where we would always have been just-in-time manufacturing, i.e. it comes in, drops into the production line and gets built and goes out the door.
Stock.
Now we're holding stock. Around about $1 billion worth, which we've never, that's a lot.
Could Europe nick some of that stuff from
No.
It's regionalised.
So the next thing that we did is, we used to, for example, in the Czech Republic, we would make storage, compute,
which is where stuff from Europe comes.
Right.
In Prague.
Yeah, exactly. So we would distribute from Prague.
Yeah.
What we've done now is only storage is Czech Republic, which means our inventory holding is only for storage. All compute is now North America.
Oh, is it?
And all inventory is in North America. And networking
really? So when we get a shipment of servers, as you know, we do a lot of storage.
Yeah.
That's why we still see Prague all the time. A shipment of servers, that would go direct from the States.
So my understanding is that the way they've done it is that means we can be more efficient with our supply lines.
Right, okay, gotcha.
And we also have in the US a secure manufacturing. So we know that every component that gets to us that goes into a server, any server or Synergy module, is 100% not tampered with. So we have the most secure supply chain in the world, and a lot of that is how they've done that in North America.
So,
and that's even down to the trucks and the people that drive the trucks. I mean, it's a massive feat that they've done. So we've done mainstream. We've done that with kind of manufacturing. We've got these mainstream products. We're now holding inventory of those mainstream products. We're trying to get better at forecasting. That's the SAP stuff that we've done. So the last kind of piece of the puzzle is, we've looked at our portfolio. Storage, I don't know about storage because that's where I sit, but I was on a call last week, so I know about the Aruba side. Is everywhere where we had what we would class as a single point of supply failure, i.e. we need this in every single board, in every single storage array.
If that manufacturer doesn't get it to you, you're bugged.
Yeah, so we are architects. So if you look at next gen architecture or next gen hardware, which is on the horizon, we have a minimum, and the default now is a minimum. So even when they're designing new products, so like Gen 11 servers and other stuff that we've got on the go, the default is you must only use components where we have a minimum of 2 suppliers, but ideally 3.
So what would happen then with standard builds and stuff? You'll have different
from a customer's
firmware and stuff and things like that?
So potentially, but from a customer's point of view and from a partner's point of view, you'll never know what's in the box.
Oh, right, okay.
So for us,
so you wouldn't have to say, I need that because I've got a VMware cluster and I need exactly the same?
No, so we will, okay. So from a storage array, when you're ordering and upgrading a system, we know which that system is because we know the serial number, and if we have to do specific drives or specific firmware, we don't actually do firmware on drives anymore, it's controlled by the OS.
Yeah.
So we've architected a lot of these things out. So you, as a customer and the partner, you'll never see any difference. For us, it means that we have to do double the amount of QA because we have 2 sets of firmware, we've got 2 devices. Yeah. So it puts more onus on us and it makes more effort from us, but that pain is worth having those 2 suppliers. Because and if you listen to our CEO, we actually had an all hands the week before last, and he was really clear. He said, we've had this pandemic, there'll be another one, or a natural disaster, or something. And he said, we have learned an awful lot, and we're making all of these changes, and that will put us in good stead for the next time something happens.
Okay. I'm going to ask you 2 or 3 quick fire questions. You've got 30 seconds on this. Now, this one, pertinent to that one we've just talked about, your CEO talking about natural. This one's not natural, I must say. And this is what scares me at the moment.
Yep.
And you've only got 30 seconds on it, yeah?
Yeah.
What would the impact be if China went into Taiwan? Because I think Taiwan make about 80% of all silicone comes out of that.
It does.
And surely the whole world is going to disappear and we're going to live in...
Well,
so I'm going to ask the question again because they've got the 30-second one and we can put it on LinkedIn and stuff. So tell me, James, what do you think if China went into Taiwan, what would the impact be?
I think firstly, they're not going to stop supply because they want to make money, but the cost will go up because they'll dominate, and what you'll see is a knock-on impact from all of us as vendors.
And they become a cartel on their own.
They will effectively be a cartel. Now we are and have sourced and trying to source stuff in the US, and the US government is actively trying to reduce its its reliance on China and Taiwan anyway. So we're doing the best that we can.
I've got a dog.
We've got my dog. My dog's joined us today, so it's a long story. I'm doing a charity walk. So I think ultimately they're not going to stop. They won't stop supplying us, right? But I think the price will go up. I think that's a given. But the US, North America, the government is working on making sure that they reduce their reliance on China and Taiwan because something like this might happen.
Okay, brilliant.
Longer than 30 seconds, I think probably. But
longer than 30 seconds, but that's fine. We can do some cutting. But it was all useful information, so we won't. Yeah, the dog did sort of throw us a little bit. So, next question. If, say, on average, at the moment it's taking 6 months, I'm making this up. In a year's time, and I'm not going to hold you to it, what's your best guesstimate where we're going to be?
I think with the changes that we're making with new platforms, because the hardware platforms, we've got changes to Aruba and storage coming. I don't think we'll ever get back to where we were.
No.
But I think we will probably be maybe a month, maybe to 6 weeks. But I don't
really. Cool. That would be.
I mean, one of the big change they're making in the hardware architecture in an Aruba switch will make a huge difference.
Right.
So they're saying 9 months down to 3.
So in a year,
about half where we are today.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
If not better.
Excellent. Thank you. That'd be big delight with that actually. Yeah. Now the last one, and this is probably not a quick fire one, but you've only got 30 seconds on it. I've had so many disagreements with people about, we go to the cloud because they've already got all the stuff and things like this. Now, the question is, the cloud people can't get their stuff either. So the cloud is getting, it's why we're seeing it less reliable. Do you see this or not?
I wouldn't say it's less reliable. What I have seen this week is the prices going up. And in some instances, AWS and Azure talk about 40%.
Right, okay.
So that's power, cooling, and probably locationalised.
Yeah.
AWS Amazon make their own servers, but they will suffer the same problem.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
The only thing that's unique in
They
their
don't
box,
magic them, do they?
no, they don't. They buy white boxes. We
yeah.
all do the same thing. Ours is a white box until we put it into a HP manufacturing process and it becomes a HPE server. But they will struggle as well, and I know for a fact, and I heard rumblings yesterday because we had a big customer in who is a big Azure customer, and they're already struggling with resources for some of where they've got reserved. AWS call it reserved. I forget the term that Azure, but they will suffer because at the end of the day, largely the same things go in every single server.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the manufacturers, as I said, as much as we're HPE and you to supply us first, they don't. Right, they are making it and going, there's your bit, because they need to keep everyone going. Yeah. So everyone will suffer at some point. It depends on when that will happen, because you may find that AWS and Azure are massively over provisioned anyway, and therefore they haven't hit a problem. That might shield it from customers. I don't know, but
okay.
There's a lot of noise about price increases and stuff like that, and inevitably there'll be price increases from us still, and because everything, the cost of shipping alone, the exchange rates. So it's going to be turbulent. It's going to be turbulent, I think.
In the words of my wife, the longest 30 seconds. In the longest 30 seconds that it's ever been.
It was a good question.
Yeah. So they're probably not the way to end it.
So just get it edited at the end.
Edited out of it. Yeah. James, thank you very much for that.
Pleasure,
really appreciated. Hopefully you found that insightful, because as we see it, is logistics side has been a disaster in the last couple of years for lots and lots of people. Actually, 30-second one that you can ask me.
I'm also going to add something afterwards as well, because something's just sprung to my mind.
Okay. Well, you can chuck that in now.
Right. So, two things I didn't mention: Green Lake, and I know probably everyone's heard been talked to death about Green Lake. But as a Green Lake customer, we do prioritise Green Lake shipments because we're contractually bound to do so.
Keep service.
That's been one of the biggest drivers we've seen for customers moving to Green Lake in the last 10 months. Our order book has gone up because of that. The other thing is and I know this because I've had 3 instances where I've had very unhappy customers say this to me, is their order gets pushed to the bottom of the queue because someone like Barclays picks up the phone and rants, and we prioritise their order. I can tell you categorically now, we do not do that.
Yeah.
It is first in, first out.
Because I could imagine back in the day, 90% of the stuff was escalated.
Yes,
everything
was escalated.
Nothing's escalated.
So we stopped that. So it doesn't matter how big you are, how much you spend with us, and we have some big services. The painful bit. We have some big services, but it does not matter who you are. Once you're in that queue, when you get to the top of that queue and your components are in, you'll go over a Deutsche Bank below you.
Which is actually, you've taken it out.
My answer to 30-second
Thank you very much. You've taken exactly what I was going to say, but no, there's a reason for it. I'm going to say we lose a lot of business on the back of this, and I'll tell you what it is. And maybe we should become a little bit dodgy. Yeah, I'm not going to, by the way. We lose business when a customer says to us, "You've told us it's going to be 3 months, but you really haven't got a clue," and that's what we will say. Because 3 months could be 3 weeks, or it could be 3 years. Yeah. We say this every time. We do not know, but this is what the portals are saying. But we always say what the portals are saying. That's going to change. We get clients home to us. We lost one the other day that was over 400 grand,
Right.
Pounds, not dollars. Although that's pretty similar now. And they said, but X, and I won't mention, but 3 letters, said that they can guarantee it within 6 weeks. I said, they can't. No. And they can't, can they? Because they get it from the same place as us.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because we see, I spend a lot of my time with customers, and I'm a storage person, and we compete against the usual suspects. And we've just lost a deal, which is a 3-PAR install-based customer, because said vendor had promised no problems with us 3 weeks. We're now 3 months on. That customer's not had his kit. Yeah. So it's not just partners.
It manufacturers as well.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it gives all of us a bad name.
It does.
And we lose deals, right? We lose deals to the likes of the 4-letter company that bought the other 3-letter company. Right. Because they will go
and EMC.
So they'll go and promise a 3-week lead time to a customer, and we're looking at it going, they're the same components that go into our box. Yeah. Right? We can't get them for 6 months. And they don't hold stock either. They're just in time manufacturing. Yeah. So they're and it's frustrating. Yeah, and we lose deals for the same reason.
And it's so frustrating.
It is. And the worst thing is once the customer's placed that order, being able to cancel it,
you can't do it. And if you do cancel it, you're at the back of the queue.
Yeah. And what I would say is, if you're given a date by a partner or a manufacturer for that matter, and you place an order, and all of a sudden that 3 weeks turns into 3 months, and it was never really 3 weeks at all, well, I would argue that you probably shouldn't go back to that partner again, because they are likely doing it all the time. I'm like you, right? If a customer asks me, they get the honest answer, because otherwise invariably it comes and bites you in the bum. Right?
And I tell you who I feel sorry for.
Was the customer that loses out?
Well, the customer loses out, but the HP account manager is then being asked by or told by the partner,
left,
get
right,
on the
centre.
phone to the client and say why it's gone from 6 weeks to 3 months, and it's HPE's fault.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't.
Because it's always been 3 months.
Yeah, it's the partner's fault for lying.
Yeah.
And the knock-on effect is the customer tells their teams, tells their managers, this project will be up and running X.
Yeah.
They're giving them false information. So
Yeah.
that lying in the industry, and it is endemic, it's shocking.
It is at the moment, it's awful.
But hopefully people will remember these times with the people who are honest and the people who aren't.
And what I would say, lastly, just keep going on, but
we could.
if you are running a project, and I say this to every customer, and I had a bunch of customers in at Rebel Racing for an event on Tuesday this week.
Is that the collective noun for customers?
Customers, a bunch.
Yeah.
If you've got a project, give yourself. If you think you're going to get it done in 2 months, I'd add 3 months to it.
Yeah.
Because something in that technology stack that you need to finish that project will probably be late.
Quick one, on the networking side that we've done with the Aruba side, there's still quite a lot of the old 3Com part in the HP Aruba thing, and we've been putting quite a lot of 3Com because that's available.
It is available, and also we've got Renew, right?
Of course.
Our Renew business is a $2 billion business. We take it back, we refurbish it, it goes back through the manufacturing cycle, so it's effectively brand new with a brand new warranty.
All the warranties is exactly the same. So
that has become big, because there are things in there that customers, if you need something quick, then ask about Renew. Yeah. Because you get the same warranty.
And that's worldwide.
That is worldwide.
And the partner, we can go and look on that, what is available, it might say South Africa, whatever, we know where it is and if it's available, and we can put that on hold.
Yeah.
So we've done that quite a lot, so that really works.
That's how we've just fixed the problem. Well, we had one server holding up a major project, basically an opening of an office in Bulgaria, and I said to the global VP, and I said, look, it's in Renew. I don't want to buy second hand, right? Okay, but you're telling me we're holding a project up, and I get that. We can give you that box with the same warranty, with exactly the specs you want.
So why
tomorrow.
would you care? Why would you care?
And so we did it. Renew is a really good, good way to. If you're really in a bind, you have been very good at it. But if you're in a bind, check it. It's worth checking.
Yeah. But also another one. I'm getting upset. People shipping Renew and not telling their customers it is.
That's bad.
That's bad.
You have to tell them it's Renew.
Yeah, it's fraud, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it is technically, but you have to tell them it's Renew. And they'll know, because when a Renew box arrives, it has a yellow label on it. I think it's still yellow. Don't quote me, but I think it's still yellow, that says that it's been through the manufacturing process again.
It used to have an R on the end of the part number. Yeah. Whether it still has, I don't know. But you'll see that on the box, but you might not see the box. All right then, James. Brilliant.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. I'll sign off for Snoop, who's now looking at me.
Yeah, nice to have a dog on. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Soon? Where did that come from?